Some people have said to me that living in Cambodia and 2,000 American dollars is too much. So what's possibly the cheapest? But then you would be living a very cheapskate life. But if that's your cup of tea and you want this in your retirement, well, let me give you the cheapest kind of option for you. First of all, your accommodation. You can possibly get a air-conditioned or at least a fan-conditioned room for $150 per month. You have to pay for the electric, but that's going to be basically a bed, a washroom, a fan, if you're lucky, if you'll find the right place, air conditioning unit, maybe a table and a chair, possibly an old style TV with a cable connection and maybe some kind of internet. And that may wrap up for about 150. Now, your electric, if you don't use the air conditioning a lot, but you're going to be there a lot with your fan, you could say, let's be generous and say $50, but it can be cheaper than that. The next big expense is going to be your food. You don't need to cook. You can eat street food all the time. And that street food per meal can be $1, $1.50. It's not going to be the healthiest option, but they're 3 times a day. So let's say that's like $5. You can buy for your water a 5-gallon drum of water. I think it's 5 gallons, which would cost you about $1. And for one person, that should be adequate for 1 week. In your apartment for 150, you may have a fridge, you may have a cooker, but you have to pay for gas. That gas would be $15, $16, let's say 15 to 20, however long you use it. If you don't cook at home, then it's going to last you a long time. But on average, a big bottle of gas is going to cost you that price, and for us, for 2 people, it usually lasts for 2 to 3 months and it's delivered. Your beer, now you can get a glass of beer in a lot of bars for about 50 cents, so you could have 2 beers a day along with that. Your visa is going to cost you $300, so that's say $1 per day. Your medical, it's not a requirement here like it is in many places, like in Thailand, so you can skip that if you want to. Transportation, you've got to find an area that everything is there, and maybe you could buy a bicycle, a cheap Chinese bicycle for about $30, and then your transportation problem is solved. Supermarket, maybe you do need coffee, maybe you do need milk and some basic necessities there like toothpaste, etc. So that could be an extra, let's say, $10 per week, so an extra $40 per month. So what would be the minimum to live reasonably comfortable, not like a king, not traveling on holiday? You can go out and socialize, and you would say you can do it for $650, but that's without any luxury. Well, a beer may be your luxury, and that would be it. So if you consider, why would you go to Cambodia or Thailand, example, living on the cheap when your life is worse than living in England or America with no social welfare, no nothing there at all? So that's food for thought. If your life is better than you think living in England or in America. Now, last year I did go to England. I filled up my car that I was using, and wow, it was like £60. What's that? $90 for a full tank of gasoline. It was only a 1.5 litre car, and that was like expensive. I went to have fish and chips in a supermarket. You know, the restaurants next to a supermarket. I paid $10 for the fish and chips. It was actually quite tasty, but it wasn't a 5-star restaurant or anything. And the can of Coca-Cola that I drank was this is pounds, £10, and the can of Coca-Cola was $2.50. So I was going, wow, that's really expensive. So if that's your cup of tea to live in a small city like here in Siem Reap, yeah, you can do it for 600, and you are going to get more bang for your buck than compared to the United States of America or England, but you are going to be living a cheapskate lifestyle. I don't mean anything bad by the word cheapskate, but I think you would be considering, why are you here? You know? And you do retire in these different places like Panama or Thailand or the Philippines or Vietnam or Malaysia, or I don't know, somewhere in Europe like Spain, because it's meant to be better than your lifestyle before. And that's the whole idea of retiring in a foreign country. So you can do it quite cheaply, but I think after a while you would be considering, I'm bored, I got nothing to do, I'm living in a tiny room of 20 square meters, for example. It's really hot, I can't afford the air conditioning, I can just have an electric fan. The food is going to be street food. You wouldn't be able to afford Burger King, or if you did, Burger King would be a luxury, and it can be a possible nightmare. So this is why I say, if you do retire in these places like in Southeast Asia, it's very comfortable to have $2,000. Then you can have these treats like having a nice meal once in a while, having a bottle of champagne, buying a bottle of Jack Daniels. They're all cheaper than you could say in the UK because there's very less tax here. You can have your own motorbike. You don't need a license if it's under 125cc. And if you want to pop off to Thailand, yeah, you don't have to fly. I usually do, but you can take the bus, but it's like I think it's like a 6 to 9 hour trip, because mainly the immigration takes a long time, and the border between Thailand and Cambodia. And maybe you want to go to Vietnam. That, I don't know the border side of that. I've never done it before. But again, there are so many flights nowadays, you can possibly pick up a good bargain on air sales. But if you're on 600, well, forget it. It's not going to be in your budget, and you'll just be living at the poorest necessity, if that makes sense. But if that's better than your lifestyle in England, for example, and you enjoy the hot weather, you enjoy the humid weather, you enjoy sort of like the excitement of nightlife every night and drinking beer on the cheap, well then, maybe Cambodia is your place to retire. But as I said before, if you are going to, and you've never been to Southeast Asia before, I would save up some of your pennies and fly to Thailand, have a look there, spend like 1 month there, seeing the cost of living, not a holiday, but cost of living, then to come to Cambodia, go to Vietnam, and possibly go to the Philippines as well. I wouldn't hit Manila, I would just avoid it like the plague. There are some places like Cebu, which is really friendly for people to live. I've lived there before, and you may get a better deal. So that feasibility study could save you a lot of time, and everyone is individual. So what I like as my retirement, you may like something different. I'm not a person who likes to go out and drink every night. I haven't really had a drink for about 2 or 3 months. That's my choice, but I do like to have a beer once in a while. So yeah, can you do it for $20 a day? Yeah, you can. But is it the real lifestyle that you were looking for as a retirement? Is it because you don't have any choice and you don't have a high pension or any kind of pretty good income or retirement fund or some investments? Then all these questions are in there to offer you. I hope this helps. It's just rambling on. I was literally sitting outside with a nice cup of coffee thinking about this, because so many people do leave some comments in this comment section below and say, what about this? I can do this, you can do that. It's your personal choice, and it's your actual, how much is your guaranteed income every single month? How much do you want to save? How much do you want to spend? What kind of lifestyle do you want, etc. Yeah, I am happy with my lifestyle. And again, I do have an advantage that I have lived in Asia and worked in Asia for a long time. I do actually call this place more home. I go to England once in a blue moon, and it's just so expensive, yeah, which I just, even though yes I'm British, I just find it, oh my god, really? For example, a packet of cigarettes in England costs you £10. What's that? $15. Here you can get one box for 200 cigarettes inside for $8.50. Not local, these are international brand, or one packet then maybe 80 cents. So these bad habits, if you have them in America, then it's a very expensive, but here it's ridiculously cheap. Maybe you could save money there. I don't know. Everyone is individual. Let's leave it there for today. Thumbs up, please. Subscribe, please. Like, please. And I'll hit some more videos soon in the near future. My name is James. This is the Asia Show. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.